These are the Bru people scattered in the state of Mizoram and also in some parts of the northern Tripura district. However, this entire community is known to be the aboriginals of the state Tripura. According to the government of India, they are the Reangs of Tripura, a total misconception and a misidentification. As of today, there are 13 tribes in the Bru community. Reang is just one out of the 13 branches. Many of you have heard about or been aware of the Bru tragedy in the recent past. They were granted refugee status in their own state. Isn't that disheartening? Now, it all started between the period of 1974 and 1976 under the Congress reign. A hydropower project was commissioned over the Gomti River, which led more than 27,000 indigenous people to lose their fertile lands and their homes. Hence, they had to flee to their neighboring state Mizoram in search of a new settlement. Another insight is worth noting here, which is the immigration of the Hindu Bangladeshis as a result of religious persecutions in Bangladesh. It was the result of the India and East Pakistan war between 3rd of December until 16th of December 1971. The majority of those more than 27,000 displaced indigenous people were the entire Bru Tribe. As you can see, they migrated to these three districts of Mizoram bordering Tripura, namely Kolasib, Mamit and Lunglei. Currently, the dam is in a terrible state. Initially, it was unable to produce the hydropower required, so it only produced 10 megawatts of electricity as its original capacity for a short period of time. According to experts, there will be no increase in output. The power production from Gomti is expected to diminish progressively, and now it has been abandoned. But that is not an end to the Bru struggle. In 1997, they had to face ethnic clashes with the Mizos and had to move back to Tripura. The issue came in limelight when Brus started to demand their ADC. Mizoram civil society stated and claimed that the Brus are migrants, internally displaced persons who have moved to Mizoram for various reasons and therefore are not natives to the land. Before becoming Mizoram, the former Lushai Hills were only declared as a union territory of the northeastern region between the period of 1972 and 1986. Eventually, a peace accord between the Mizo National Front and the Government of India was signed in 1986, later making Mizoram a fully fledged state of India in 1987. However, Chakma, the minority in Mizoram, received their status and their autonomous district councils under the 6th schedule of the Indian Constitution on 29th of April 1972. The Brus believed that the Chakmas were granted with their demands and social position, whereas they were deprived from it in Mizoram. After moving back to Tripura, they settled in 6 different relief camps counting North Tripura's Kanchanpur and Panisagar subdivisional block, namely Ashapara, Naisingpara, Hajachera, Hamsapara, Khakchangpara and Kaskau. Following the 23 years of dislocation and migration, finally the governments of Mizoram and Tripura, along with the government of India, had signed an agreement for their permanent settlement in the state of Tripura itself. In light of our data and by the help of our sources, we went in search of such a settlement camp by the name Hambaipara, located in a place called Labanchera under the Manu subdivision of the Dhalaidistrict. A road journey from Chailanta to the Hambaipara village took us around 45 minutes to reach. It is completely a remote area surrounded by lush greenery and beautiful hills. No doubt the connecting roads work is under progress. but the substandard road condition makes it difficult for their easy connectivity and development with the outer parts of the district. There we met Mr. E.J. Chorkhi, the General Secretary and the Assistant in charge of the Bru Settlement Implementing Committee.
My name is E.J. Chorkhi and I'm the Assistant in charge cum General Secretary of the Bru Settlement Implementing Committee. And my responsibility is to look after the people of this Hambaipara village, the newly Bru settlement location. And we call this village newly Hambaipara. And here 500 families will settle here in accordance with the agreement signed with the state government as well as the government of India on 16 January 2020. So as per the agreement, to each of the family have been given 1,50,000 rupees for house construction and 4 lakhs of rupees for rehabilitation package compensation, and monthly 5,000 rupees for the period of 2 years, and free ration 18 kilo per head, 18 kilo per head per month for the period of 2 years. So these are the rehabilitation package for the Bru migrants who came from Mizoram in the year 1997 due to ethnic clashes. And now, after so much of discussion with the state government of Mizoram and Tripura as well as the government of India, finally all the Bru migrants are willing to settle here in Tripura, as the people felt that we are secure. We have the security here in Tripura rather than in Mizoram.
So these are the houses which are being built in the newly settled Hambaipara village. The village is divided into 5 blocks A, B, C, D and E, which covers a total area of 25 acres. Approximately 500 families will settle here, each owning a 1200 square feet of residential land. In the process of resettling these Bru people, the government of Tripura has purchased this huge area from the forest department itself. Hello. Along with Hambaipara, there are other 11 more approved camps set up by the government for the relocation program.
There are 12 locations, approved locations. So the state government of Tripura don't want the Bru migrants to settle beyond the approved location, because there are altogether 12 locations. So within the approved location, so all the 35,000 populations of Bru migrants have to settle within the approved location. So yes, this Hambaipara is also one of the approved location among the 12 locations.
Okay.
And one more comes from the pipeline.
This is section C of the village. Here, every household is connected with proper drinking water and power connection. Small shops are also available here for their daily livelihood essentials.
Hello.
As we forwarded, our question about the misconception of Brus to be Reang, mentioned earlier, has been briefly explained by Mr. Chorkhi here.
There are 13 clans among the Bru community, and we form it into Bru community. And we call ourselves Bru community. Reang is one of a clan. But during the 18th century, while British ruled in India, so there is a misinterpretation of the name Reang, because Reang is one of the clan, and by mistake the name of the community has been called as Reang now. Yes. So according to the mythical fact that in the erstwhile the British officials came to the Reang inhabited area and had been asked by them, by the British colonialists, and they unknowingly answered them that we are Reang. That's why since then the people of Bru are called Reang wrongly by the British government. So till now we are trying our level best to change this nomenclature of Reang into Bru, and had been several times submitted a memorandum to the state government as well as the central government, but till now there is no any positive response in this regard, changing of the nomenclature of Reang, Bru instead of Reang.
The newly arrived families from the North Tripura district willing to settle here in this village. That's how hard their life is.
This red house is the dormitory room, and people who want to settle here have to first settle in the dormitory room, and after completion of constructing their house, they will be shifted to their own house after completion of construction of their house. But before that, they have to stay here for the time being, that is till the completion of their house construction.
Another topic which caught our attention was the difference between Kokborok and Bru tribes. Presently, the Kokborok are the tribal majority in Tripura, and on that basis, they consider every ethnic minority under the Kokborok family. Whereas minority ethnic tribes like Bru and others do have an 85% similarity on the linguistic category, but their practices are different from the mainstream.
Other communities
Listen
like
to Mr. Chorkhi's point of view properly.
Jamatia, and Debarma, and Tripuri. So they are also called the Cockney tribe. So our language is similar. 85% there is a similarity with them linguistically. So they are our Cockney tribe. So but the Debarma tribe, they have also a clan. So but as per the ideology of them is that especially here in Tripura, and there is a one ideology to all the related language similarity with the Kokborok, they should be enlisted in under the Kokborok. So there is some hesitancy from our people also, but I do not know so far what to do, but it depends upon the state government of Tripura to decide that by recognition of Kokborok, every community like Tripuri, Koloi, Jamatia and all, they should be included under Kokborok. But there is some resistance from these people, from these small ethnic groups. So I personally thought to myself that first there must be a willingness willingness to each to every community, then only peace will be maintained. Otherwise, here in Tripura, such a forceful conversion or any other forcing someone to embrace not only Kobruk and others also, it may disrupt the peaceful atmosphere of Tripura, especially among the tribal people. That's why consultation must be a priority in this regard.
So there's there's one more question. Like the people from your community, the Bru community, you have faced 23 years of this ethnic clashes out there in Mizoram. So after the people, when they were accepted here in Tripura to be a part of the big Tripuri community, so your community is a bit different from the rest of the Kokborok community. So have you faced any kind of such ethnic discriminations or any ethnic kind of clashes between the other Kokborok communities and your Kaubru community?
So right now, as far as my knowledge is concerned, there is no any problems in this regard. So during this 22 years, let me repeat it briefly about about the ethnic classes between Mizos and the Bru community. So in Mizoram, we feel unsafe linguistically and even our culture also, because many of our people used to speak Mizo language. Many of our people feel more comfortable to speak Mizo language than Kaubru language or language. And many of the students, Bru students in Aizawl, the city of Mizoram, they feel ashamed to speak out Kaubru language, our own language, and they admire Mizo language. So such a assimilation was there, and it is also there till today also. And after so much of discussion regarding to safeguard our distinct culture, custom and language, we demand autonomous district council, a separate autonomous district council to safeguard our distinct culture, custom and language. But the Mizoram state government considered this unfeasible. It is impractical. That's why we had been trying our level best to solve this issue politically. But in Mizoram, they have strong unity. They have a strong unity, and as being a less population in Mizoram, we could not overcome them, or we could not influence them. But one thing which I feel so much of surprise is that in Mizoram, the minorities are treated like a slave. Because I do like to say that Mizoram is Africa in India, where minorities are facing apartheid state. Because as you know, why Mizoram is Africa in India? Because as you know, in Africa, in the erstwhile, during the First World War, the black men, how they were being treated by the white people. Likewise in Mizoram, non-Mizos are always discriminated. And the government, all the government authority has been covered by the Mizo community, because they are educationally high. And besides, in the year 1990, some of our people who are little bit educated applied for government job. But at that time, they were not allowed to register for employment exchange, registration for employment exchange also, because their name has been recorded Kaubru in our own language. Suppose if their names is with Mizo language, then automatically they will be allowed. So such a discrimination and assimilation looks like Africa. That's why I do like to say that Mizoram is Africa in India, where minorities are facing apartheid state. But because I do like to extend my speech that they call themselves Christian. Of course, many of our people also embrace Christianity. But being a Christian, that the perspective of the Bible does not tell to discriminate the minorities and oppress them. This is not the instructions of the Lord Jesus Christ. But why being called themselves that Mizoram is 100% Christian community? So it is very shameful for them. That's why even the people of Mizo should also review in this matter. If they can review in this matter, then it will be better for them also, in order to create a congenial atmosphere in Mizoram and between different communities who are living till today. That's why I personally do not hope for the minorities in Mizoram that they may be able to survive without getting autonomous district council for every ethnic community in Mizoram. If the central government can give them their demand, autonomous district council. Now the existing autonomous district council, there are three. One is Mara, and another one is Chakma, and another one is Lai. There are altogether 3 autonomous district council. So compared to the Chakma population in Mizoram, in 1995, and the population of Chakma and the Bru community, and we are covering not only one district, we are covering Kolasip district, Mamit district, Lunglei district, and Chimtipui district, covering 4 districts, whereas the Chakmas cover only in a 1 district. So compared to the population, if the Chakma can get the autonomous district council, why cannot we get? Why the Bru peoples are not allowed to get autonomous district council to safeguard our distinct culture, custom, and tradition? So compared to the population, we are eligible constitutionally, and it is lawful also. But despite such a constitutional rights, several times to the government of India as well as government of Mizoram, our demands had been turned down by them. And meanwhile, the Union of India say that every inch in India, once I met Ministry of Home Affairs, I'm being told by them that every inch of India has been ruled by the state government. That's why in order to solve politically, you need to first make a compromise with the state government. Then only we can give you autonomous district council, because government of India cannot forcefully give you autonomous district council without the consent of the state government of Mizoram.